Hello there guys, and yes, I'm back. I'm back at Elite League Racing Cup for round 21 after 2 weeks of not racing in this league after having to miss a race because I was outside of my house and I didn't have an option, so yeah, I have to miss that race, and that was the only one of that weekend, so yeah, I had to wait another week after that terrible race from Japan. And well, fortunately I could participate in that race. I was in very doubt in that race, because if I could ever participate in that race, because well, in that weekend I had that race, it was just quite eventful in terms of my family, because I gotta go to a lot of places, and I was just in doubt if I could participate in the race or else I'll miss, and Japan would be my last race at Elite League Racing Cup. Yes, I'm thinking of leaving this league because I just entered into another league called F1 Advance, now League Champions Advance, and yeah, I don't want to just do a lot of videos. I don't want to overdo a lot of things, and I just want to do 1 or 2 videos per week, not 3 or 4. So yeah, I'm just going to I'm thinking about leaving this league, and well, while I was just thinking about that, here we are going into my out lap, going for my flying lap, just like thinking about which are the racing line, the braking points, because well, I was just practicing into time trials, so yeah, it might be very different, the braking points and the cornering speed, because on that mode you have infinite grip. Well, not infinite, but greater grip than multiplayer mode or Grand Prix mode. So here we are, going to my flying lap. The RS is going to be wide open. We are beginning our flying lap. Let's see if we can handle turn 1 decently. Let's see, breaking into the 100-meter, went wide, not touching the apex, but we indeed did into turn 2 and as well as turn 3. So then to turn 4, we're just doing this very carefully, because into those previous times I just wait into those turns, I was just very afraid. I didn't know which was the limit, the throttle limit, because I don't want to spin in that corner. And then here to turn 8, we have to also do this careful. I just went a bit wide, but we didn't. Ooh, we almost spin, but headed to turn 9, very easy. Then into turn 10, we just we have to do the clever racing line. I mean, it's a bit very difficult to find the correct racing line, because some of them go into the really outside, entering to that corner, some of them touching the apex, and I don't know, I think it's the more correct form to use into the correct I mean the outside line. The RS is wide open. We're just going to finish a lap time, and we just go into provisional pole position with a lap time of 1 minute 19.311. And I was just doing another flying lap because I am seeing that we have a lot of potential to do this thing, and although unfortunately our ERS is running out and we're just losing a lot of tense into that straight because we don't have our ERS, into those corners we're just getting a lot of advantage because we're just knowing the circuit. But unfortunately also the other disadvantage is that we're going to have less grip because the tire wear. So yeah, that's just going to be a little bit disadvantage, and we see that we're dropping into P3 because Martin and Tamal has just set faster lap times, and we see that Tamal has just got into provisional pole position with medium tires, and we see that we are now into 4th position after Johan set a faster lap time than myself. And yeah, I'm just going to drop a lot of places, and we're just improving just barely, like oh my goodness, we just went wide into the penultimate corner, but we just went gaining a little bit of those tenths of a second, and we're just improving like 15 hundredths of a second, I think. and we're going to have another lap time of 119.15, which puts us into 3rd position. But I don't know, I think we'll just drop out of the order because most of those drivers will improve a lot. So I don't know, but let's just go into the garage because we don't have fuel, and also I don't know if I'll do 2 more laps or just only 1, because yeah, we have just only 2 sets of soft available. Well, the new ones we have in reality 3, but I just already used that one, so I'm just saving the softs, the 3rd softs for the race. So yeah, I have to do another lap with these used softs in order to just as a lap to just know more the limits, and also into my final flying lap. That's going to be my great work for that qualifying. And well, let's just enter the garage. So well, I just did another lap before that one, but it was just a joke lap because I just invalidated, and it was like nothing happened because it was just a practice lap. But still, it was just a little bit important because I was just knowing more about the limit. But this time it's going to be the real lap. It's going to be the lap that will define my position. If I'll improve this thing, I'll go up many places. So here we are into turn 1, and we just got a bit early into the brakings of that corner because yeah, the braking points, the reference points are just gone. So yeah, we just got a little bit of the slipstream of Ahmed, and here we are into turn 5. We're just going to be a little bit careful because we're not improving a lot of time, but yeah, we just spun. And honestly, my actual reaction of that spin wasn't just a lot, because I didn't get so angry. I just went like, oh well, yeah, I just spun. But well, let's just look forward to the race, and let's see if we can go up places from 8th position. So well, we need to get a great start. Well, not a great start because they might be safety car and the field will bunch up, as it happened from every race, I think so, if I remember. So well, let's go into the qualifying results. So these are the qualifying results. Tamal got pole position, very dominant that pole position, like more than half a second faster than the 2nd place, which is Peck, his ex-teammate. And then 3rd place is Jovan, 4th is Storm, then Boyeke, Saxi, Ahmed, myself, who just got 8, but it could be better if I wouldn't spin it that corner. Then Marty is right behind myself, then Inmore, Silent Mix, Bernie, which is in his ERL account, then PG Retro, then Tote. And although it's not shown, but the bottom 5 are the other Aston Martin, Blood, Victor, Valiant, and the disqualified man, Flores. So well, let's see if we can have a lot of surprises, or it will be just a boring race with very stable changes of position. So well, let's see in the race. So the strategy of the race will be a medium hard, the same as the default one. Well, I didn't change that strategy, but the things I changed is the fuel I'll be starting, because I'll be starting with 49.3 kilograms of fuel and not 50, because I decided to just go with 31.9 laps of fuel instead of going into kilograms, so I could just go a little bit conservative with my tires and also be a little bit careful just in case I don't have to be aggressive, and instead I have to be smooth in the circuit. And also with the setup I changed a little bit. It was just only the tire pressures. I just got one line lower with the rear tire pressure from 21.0 to 20.8. So well, let's head into the formation lap. So, into the formation lap, we're just waiting for the players to get ready, and here we are going to practice start and then heating up our tires. So, well, Ahmed is the first one to launch, and I was just playing the reflection game, the reflex game, I mean, and I was just going to start when the driver ahead of myself gets started, which was Saxy, and we're just now heating up our tires. It was just going to be, we're just going to be very far away from the other cars because we don't want to crash and get our grid slots reset, because if we crash in during the formation lap with another car, we're just going to have our grid slots reset. What I mean is that they're just going to teleport us into the grid slot but reset, and with a disadvantage, and we almost crashed with a Williams. I don't know who was, I think it was Marty, who was almost crashed into us. So we're just going to be a little bit cautious about that thing, because we don't want to crash with others and get our grid slots reset. And I was just afraid that the Red Bull of oh no, it was the Marty, the Red Bull, not the Williams. And yeah, I was just afraid that the Red Bull just rear-ends me and we get our grid slot reset. So yeah, we're just going to be real a little bit concerned about that. And meanwhile, the championship standings, we are around the battle for 5th position into the standings. Meanwhile, the constructors, we're just going to have chances to fight for 2nd place in the constructors championship. Let's see if we can do this thing with Alpine. So, well, if I miss the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, well, Wilski will have that task. And meanwhile, we're just going to be ready to set our grid slots, and unfortunately we don't have our tires very heated up, and we see that Alfa Romeo is just getting speed up, and we're just heating up our rear tires very desperately, and we just crashed, but fortunately there's no damage. Yeah, in the formation lap the damage is turned off, so yeah, as long as we don't crash with each other, with another driver, everything is fine. So, well, let's just head into our grid slot, and let's see if we're just going to have a great start, and we're just going to point a little bit like between Tamal and Peck. So we just park decently. So let's wait with the players to log their grid slots and begin the race, because the 5 red lights will be turned on in a few moments. I don't know, I think they're just taking so long to load. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're just going to start the race because the 5 red lights cars just turned on, and X lights out, and away we go. That was just a decent start for us, but Ahmed had a better one, and we're now into 7th position, now into 6th position, but I decided to just go carefully into turn 1. I don't want to get involved into a crash, and I decided to back off with Poyeke, and Ahmed almost overtakes us around the outside in turn 3, but we're just going to do this careful because we have to conserve our fuel, and unfortunately we got our first warning of this race, and I decided to not go for a time bomb, but Ahmed decided to do it, but unfortunately he did it, and we're now into 6th position because Tamal got involved into a crash, and he didn't technically spin, but he just went into a runoff area, and we see that Becky's just crashing with Saxy, and we are seeing a battle for 3rd position, and we just joining to that fight. Well, not so joining, but well, just watching, because I'm just concerned about my fuel conservating, and I don't want to just spend my fuel in that battle, and also my tires, and also my ERS. So, well, we're just going to get into 85% of ERS deploy into the next lap, and just harvest that ERS and get into like 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. But then into lap 2 we are seeing that Becky's just trying to do some fights, and we see that Peck has just got into turn 1 badly, and he just went wide, and we're now into 5th position. That's just pretty good for us, although we just didn't touch the apex, we just went a bit deep into turn 3. I was just a little bit afraid that Peck was just going to dive bomb us and just lose the place, or even worse, that he just makes us spin, and we're now fighting, well, not fighting, we're just going to watch if there's the battle, and I don't think there's going to be a battle, so we're just going to maintain that position. And oh my goodness, the Alpha Romeo Yeke has now spawned into turn A. I think he didn't get careful, and we're now into 4th position, but I think we'll just lose that position because Pekka is just trying to dive bomb us, and I was just trying to do this switchback, but unfortunately that didn't work. First, because I think I did the line terribly, and second, Pekka is wearing softs, so the soft tires have better tire grip, so that means that Pekka is an advantage, but in later laps he might get into the disadvantage unless there's safety car, and he just makes a medium starty, so he might get into a real advantage. Meanwhile, we're just catching his slipstream. Lap 3, the RS is now enabled. Unfortunately, we didn't catch so much to overtake him, and we're now just maintaining that P5, and well, let's see if we can maintain that 5th position. Meanwhile, beginning of 4th lap, unfortunately we just got very far away. The gap just got increased, and unfortunately our steering wheel glitch got involved into us, and we just went wide and into turn 1, and we just started the sausage curve, and we just spun all the way into 9th position, and Pajiki is out of the race. Oh no, that's just terrible. It just helped me to kind of fix my steering wheel glitch, to temporarily fix that thing or minimize that fix, and I think, oh my god, Irmor almost crashes into myself because I think he was just doing a dive bomb around the outside into turn 5, but he just failed, and I think he just went wide a little bit, and I think he just got that 3-second time penalty, and we see that, well, there's no yellow flags, and that means that Irmor, he's just spun, or I think he just took the corner badly, that he's now outside of the points. That's just pretty bad for our team, and now Tamal is in the points. So meanwhile, I'm just trying to do my comeback, trying to overtake, well, first catch and then overtake Tote, and then, well, Ahmed is now very low. I think he's now into 9th position, and I'm in 8th position if we apply his 3-second time penalty, but physically I'm in 9th position and he's on a 7th position. So, well, let's catch Tote. Meanwhile, I was just catching Tote into lap 6, then to turn 1. Tote just went a little bit wide into turn 1, and he just almost overtaking him, but I couldn't do this thing because he just squished me, and I just almost crashed into him, so I couldn't overtake him. But then into the main straight, I was just trying to overtake Tote, deploying all my ERS turns, now deployed lap 7, and I just overtook him into the outside before turn 1 very easily, and now I'm into 8th position physically, but still maintained into 7th position, but just got Tote has just rear-ended me, but fortunately he didn't make me spin, but still he made me go wide into turn 3, but still it wasn't a lot of annoyance because that didn't make me spin. And we're seeing that Bernie and Ahmed, I'm fighting for 6th position, but I'm now officially into 6th position because they have now penalties. So, well, let's get physically into 6th position and catch the other drivers. So then into lap 8, I was now involved into the powerful 6th position, but I decided to not get involved onto the straight, but unfortunately I just got involved and they packed me off because Ahmed just got very slow into turn 5, and unfortunately Now Tamal is now got involved now into the battle for 6th position. He's now joined and he's just trying to overtake me around down the inside to turn 10. And I was just trying to accept my fate and he took me a peck, but this time I successfully managed to do a 6 back off, but unfortunately I had back off into turn 12 because yeah, it's not worth it because well, I don't want to just lose a lot of time. And almost spins, but he just lost a lot of tenths and maybe a second, and now I can focus to fight for 6th position. I'm not trying to overtake them, both of them, before turn 1, deploying all of my ERS and round the outside to turn 1, just overtook, but oh my goodness, Bernie, just, oh my goodness, he just crashed into us. Ahmed went wide, but he just made me do a 540-degree spin. That was very cool, but I was now down into 8th position, and although I was still technically in 6th position, but Ahmed and Jules had a penalty, that meant that I was in 6th position with penalties applying, although that although that might be in my advantage, but they might get very fast because Jules was so fast that I just dropped into P7 because he was now 3 seconds ahead of myself. But well, Ahmed, he was just getting more penalized and accumulating more penalties. For example, in lap 13 when he just got another 3-second time penalty, and before that he just got another 3-second time penalty, so he has now 12 seconds of penalties accumulated. That's just pretty bad for him. And on lap 13, ending that lap, we see that Jones has just come into the pits, and as well as Storm / Ricardo Rangel are just barely going to overtake him into turn 1, almost crashing into him. He was going very slow, and we see that Marty has just returned from the decision, is out of the race, and it means that he has caused the safety car to be triggered. That's just a little bit lucky for myself because I was just going to box into lap 15, but in this lap safety car has now reached and we're going to box for hearts, and my teammate has already gone into hearts. Well, I think so, but what I can ensure is that he's going to box and we're also going to box, but we're just trying to a little bit kinda fix the glitch, my stream little glitch, because yeah, what's a bit annoying, that thing about like going to the 180-degree lock, that thing I'm doing, I was just going to fix that thing, and we're now going to box for hearts, and let's see if we can make a little bit of that advantage, or else that Storm and Joes made a great advantage boxing right before safety car, and I just overtook Blood, and I just almost re-end him. Well, I was referring to Ahmed, and I was just almost rear-ending him because I didn't break on time, but still we didn't speed up into the pit lane, and we're now boxing for hearts. The only thing we have to do is to get up into the field and hit up our hearts. And meanwhile we were getting our field punched up, we see that Block has spun, and I decided to overtake him, but unfortunately the game decided to consider this as an illegal overtake, so I decided to cede his position, but he wasn't ceding. He wasn't overtaking me, but well, he did indeed, and well, that's just pretty annoying, having to in front an obstacle during the safety car relaunch. That's just pretty frustrating, and worse when he just spun and you couldn't overtake him. And well, we couldn't catch him, and well, when safety car, oh, whoa, that's just some miracle. Blood has just let me pass, so that's the miracle. That's the thing you want in motorsport racing, and less during safety car, and even less when he's just battling for that position, one position ahead of himself. Well, for that thing, I decided to say thank you, and I just sent him a sign of that thing. So well, fortunately there are no obstacles to overtake Ahmed, and well, let's wait until the safety car ends and let's have a great new relaunch. But would you think that nothing will happen before the safety car ends? Well, you're wrong, because Ahmed just crashed with another driver. I just overtook him. It was considered illegal. I see him just only to just crash into the wall and DNF. I think when he just damaged his front wing, he knew that he'll lose the race, so he just DNF'd. But hey, he could go for some points and not just all or nothing. That's just called race quit. Oh, and the drivers around myself have penalties. So, well, that means that I'm technically in 5th position if the penalties get applied, or maybe in a higher position, because maybe those drivers in the top 4 may have higher penalties. So, well, let's see. Meanwhile, let's just heat up our tires and let's just mentalize ourselves, because I think safety car will end soon. Let's just see. And well, we're just heating our tires, and indeed, in fact, we are going to relaunch in this lap, because now the safety car will enter the pit lane as it says the sign here on the top of the screen. So we're just going to heat up our tires very desperately, and let's just wait until the safety car, well, until the green flag gets triggered and we can overtake them, and the racing will be restarted. So meanwhile, unfortunately, our tires aren't heated up, and mostly with the rear tires. That's just pretty bad, but I think they'll heat up in the straights. Meanwhile, it's now ending and safety car has come in, and unfortunately I didn't have a great relaunch, but still I didn't lose positions. Meanwhile, we're just catching Joes and the others. Let's see if we can overtake them. Heading to turn 1, we're just doing this decently, and we see that there's carnage into turn 2, and oh my goodness, we were now into P4 by a single frame, and there was a lot of carnage. I think no one got DNF'd, so well, let's catch Joes. And well, Peck has just been penalized heavily, so well, let's just catch 4 Joes and finish P2, just in case Joes just gets 3 seconds faster than myself. Well, 3 seconds ahead of myself, I mean, because if he gets 3 seconds faster, he'll be winning the race, and by like a minute or so. So well, let's see if we can catch Joes and Peck. Meanwhile, Peck has just spun in exiting turn 10, and he's now DNF'd. I mean turn 11, but still it's just like almost that corner, but still Peck has now just DNF'd, and now I'm officially into the podium position. So let's just catch Joes and finish P2, I think so. Meanwhile, Jovan is just pretty fast, and I think he's just going to get a comfortable win. Unfortunately, I couldn't catch Joes, and he was so fast that gap got increased until 4.4 seconds in this lap 22, and we see that Joes has just gone wide executing turn 8, and he's just retired from this race, and that has caused a virtual safety car. That was just very surprising. I think he just, once again, we see another driver rage quit in this race. And well, he indeed rage quitted, but real, because he just also not only just retired, he also left the session. So well, that's the real rage quit of this race. Meanwhile, the race has been temporarily stopped because of virtual safety car, and now I'm like definitely, like, if we apply the penalties, technically I'm leading the race. So that means that if we maintain that gap, we'll make that win after a great, well, I'm going to say that if we maintain that gap, we're going to make a great comeback, but unfortunately we couldn't maintain that gap. We see that we're now more than 3 seconds behind Jovan, and that means that now I'm in second place, and Flores got a drive-through penalty because he didn't, he was too fast. He was faster than the Delta line, and well, for him, my ex-teammate got a drive-through penalty, so he loses a lot of seconds, and he's just trying to catch me, but I think he's just going to box in this lap. So, well, let's see. Meanwhile, we're just going to see that Jovan is dominating the race, and we need to be concerned about Flores because we might be overtaken by him. But I don't know, I think he won't be overtaking us because he's going to box, because he needs to serve his drive-through penalty, but he's just trying to catch me, to attack me. So I'm just deploying all of my ERS. Now lap 24, heading to that main straight. Flores didn't box to serve my drive-through penalty. Instead, he's just trying to fight me and overtake me, but I decided to defend, and I just going to brake normally into turn 3, but we see that Flores just didn't brake so early, and he braked too late that he rear-ended me, and I almost got a 180 spin, and I just got my rear left tire anchored. I was going to say that, I mean the rear right, but yeah, it was rear left, and unfortunately that meant that I just lost the second position. But it was because Tamal overtook us. So that means that Tamal is going to be dominant and maybe overtake Jovan and win the race. So that's just pretty terrible. And meanwhile, Flores might serve his drive-through penalty, maybe to box for new win. I think he's just in a terrible disadvantage. Meanwhile, we're just in third place. The only thing we have to do is maintain that place, or if the miracle happens, maybe get up the places. And we see that we're just going to overtake Vlad for another time. I think he's not doing anything. Fortunately, we don't have anything to talk about, so we need to skip until the end of the race because Tamal won the penultimate round of this sixth season of this league. Meanwhile, Jovan finished second and I closed the podium paying position. So that might be the last race of this league that I'll be. So yeah, I was just thinking that I can maybe participate at the Abu Dhabi race, but it was a little bit doubting because there was going to be lots of events and I'll just be outside my home in that day, March 19th. So yeah, it was a bit like an okay race after having a terrible race in Japan, having a decent comeback in this league. Third place, I'll take that. So these are the race results. Tamal resulted the winner, following Jovan, myself, the other Aston Martin, well, Peck's teammate, Silent Mex, Flores, Saxi, Retro, Torm, and my teammate Inmore, the last one who finished in the points paying position. The only one who finished outside of the points was Bernie, and from 8th to 11th, those drivers finished in lap 1 behind the leader, well, the race winner. Meanwhile, the others DNF'd, of course. Well, a podium position for my last race of this season, because the next race, the last race at Abu Dhabi, I couldn't participate in that one because it was on March 19th and I was outside my house on that day. So yeah, on that day, I decided to not live in this league, and I will stay in this league, but I'll not make those videos, and instead I'll just only stream on my Twitch, which my link is in the description down below. So if you want to go with my Twitch, you can enter that thing. So, well, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day. Goodbye.